Grand Rising, Grand Rising. First things first, credit to Benson Boone for the music. I've really been drawn to him the last couple days. And I'm just now hearing this song for the first time. Benson Boone, Be Someone. I hope everybody's having a positive, productive morning so far. It's a rainy, dreary morning in my area. The pollen has finally got the best of me, if you can't tell. All right. Okay. Enough of that. Grand Rising. Happy Sunday. We're going to start out with a morning mantra card. Then we'll get into the affirmations and then the oracles. All right. Our God who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. Ashe. I've had my coffee, but it's really not perking me up like it normally does. I'm fixing to make the switch from regular coffee to mushroom coffee. I have a feeling it's going to have an effect. I've watched a lot of videos and listened to a lot of education on the benefits of mushrooms. There we go. The benefits of mushrooms. And they have many. So I was searching online this morning for, trying to decide which brand I'm going to start with first. But if you haven't heard much about mushroom coffee, go check it out. Regular coffee really isn't good for us in a lot of different ways. And I actually got called out on it on one of my videos. And it is true. It's really hard on our liver. It's really hard on our kidneys. And, our bodies get immune to the effects of the caffeine, but the caffeine really does have a lot of negative effects as well. We actually got 2 mantra cards this morning. When I'm tempted to gossip, I'll think of something nice to say instead. And if I can't find something nice to say, I'll look harder. What's that old saying? If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Man, they used to tell me that all the time when I was little. It's thundering and lightning outside. Yeah, I told you it was a yucky kind of day. All right, and then the right thing to do. Ooh, I say this all the time. The right thing to do isn't always the easy thing to do. But it's easier to know I did it than to hate that I didn't. And it's got a picture of a daily planner, like plan to do the best thing. And usually the best thing to do is the hardest thing to do. This other one was an octopus with a magnifying glass. And it looks like he's looking at a crab or something. So when you're tempted to gossip, think of something positive to say instead. Try to change the subject if you can. Talk about the weather. Talking about the weather is better than talking about other people. Somebody that gossips cannot be trusted. If they are telling somebody else's business to you, that means that they're telling your business to somebody else. That's just the cold, hard facts of it all. Somebody that gossips cannot be trusted. That is way too many. I felt it when they fell. Self-confidence, acknowledge spirit, one with all. I am a mentor, not a rescuer. Yes, we're here to share our knowledge with other people, but it's not our responsibility to save people. The best we can do is lead them in the right direction, in whatever way that is. There's hundreds of different ways you could apply that to your life. All right, we're getting a chakra affirmation. Oneness and unity, setting boundaries, patience, wisdom and discernment, building a strong foundation, well-being, self-sufficiency. That's way too many. There we go. Connect with spirit. That was in that first chunk that came out. And something that I kept hearing, like, it just kept popping up in my head throughout the day yesterday and this morning was encouragement. A lot of times in life, we have to be the ones that encourage ourselves because there's not people around that are going to encourage us to do better. Sometimes we have to connect with spirit to get that. But it's important to be around people that encourage you, not people that hold you back. And don't let yourself be what holds you back. Sometimes we let emotions interfere, or we allow past trials and tribulations to affect how we look at the world around us. It comes up all the time, and it came up in a conversation that I had yesterday. Being able to see things from a different perspective. Like, being able to be that person that doesn't take it personally because you can see it from the other person's perspective. Okay. But encouragement, being that person that encourages other people and be that person that can also encourage yourself. Okay. Connect with spirit. I develop a quiet mind that allows me to tune in and get in touch with my higher self or my spirit. I listen for the guidance that is there waiting for me to hear. Didn't we get yesterday about the quiet place? Or day before yesterday? Yeah, I think so. I am open to the truth and I welcome spiritual inspiration from others. I will benefit greatly by practicing meditation and stillness. I ask for inner guidance to assist me in getting more in touch with my spirit. I know that if I ask for guidance, it will be given. I say it every day. Your angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides, and of course the Most High. I pray that he clothe you in his armor from head to toe, that he strengthens your discernment and guides your steps as you go throughout this day. The spirit world helps us whether we believe it or not. But if we believe it and acknowledge it, it will break you free of the box. That's the best way I know how to say that. Okay. We'll get a grief affirmation. That one was already turned over. I am not defined by my grief. Don't let your grief affect you so much to the point to where you're no longer you anymore. Don't allow the trials and tribulations of this life to take away the joy that is to be had. Okay. Healing is not linear, it's a spiral. I will encounter the same wounds many times, but gain new perspective with each passage. I already mentioned perspective this morning. Something that just popped in my head was law of attraction. Like instead of practicing law of attraction, practice uh meditation and stillness. Like I've been seeing a lot online about the law of attraction, and it goes back to that old, you get back what you put out. Reciprocation. But sometimes we be jumping timelines and stuff and don't realize that we're doing it. And if you can just practice the meditation part, the rest will come. If you build it, they will come. uh, what is that movie? Not Angels in the Outfield. Sanctuary. Look, we already got, make it God's. We got Sanctuary last week. And we've already been talking about the quiet place and quiet time. A sanctuary resides inside you no matter what is happening. This inner temple beckons you to enter. Take a deep breath, enter, and sit down on the throne of your own heart. So, making decisions based on what makes you happy, going to the quiet place, finding your peace so that you can learn what makes you happy. And then you have make it God's. Release the idea of my. As soon as you start to say the money, the relationship, the job, freedom arrives. When there is no longer, when there is no grasping, the right actions get shown. Free me from the prison of my dear Lord. Releasing attachments. That's been a theme that's been coming up recently is you know and that's I didn't finish that thought either. Instead of practicing law of attraction, practice the law of detachment. when Because you have to detach from things that are holding you back, or things that whatever. The options are endless. But if you detach from those things, the rest will just happen naturally. Okay. We didn't light an incense for the chakra. The chakra was connect with spirit, which is throat chakra. I think that is patchouli. Yes. That's crazy because we were just talking about the throat chakra last night. I had like an over an hour long conversation last night, and multiple things that came up in that conversation have already come out, and we're only at 14 minutes. So, plus, not to mention, my sinuses are all kinds of cray cray today. My nose is like completely blocked off where I can't really breathe. Okay, throat chakra, patchouli. Uh, Elegant Expressions Aromatherapy. There we go. All right. Now we will, yeah, Angel of Abundance and Angel Number. And then we'll do the Namaste. All right. I definitely need a bigger table. That's just all there is to it. I can smell that patchouli though. Oh, one stayed stuck on the table. Declutter stayed stuck on the table when I picked up the deck. You'll feel better and more focused if you'll take the time to clear away clutter from your living and workspace. Donate what you can to help others who may need your items. Be sure to keep your schedule uncluttered as well. Look, she's holding like a globe right here. It's on like a stand. Or maybe that's just light coming from her hand. She's sitting on the moon. She almost looks like she's wearing a nightgown, like she's wearing PJs. So, getting better sleep. Decluttering your space so that you can sleep better. You know, putting away laundry. Picking up all the shoes out of the floor and putting them where they go. You know, little things like that. Okay. Detox your friendships. I think we got this the other day. Your abundance flow is being affected by the people with whom you're spending time. So be discerning about your associations and relationships. Choose to be with people who are inspiring, generous, and supportive. Didn't I already talk about that this morning? Being around people who encourage you. Yeah. That it's important. You know, people that you would ordinarily think would have, nothing but goodwill for you. A lot of times those are the ones you got to worry about. It's sad, but it's true. They take advantage of that position that they hold in your life. They take it for granted. Okay. Declutter. Detox your friendships. Now I'm pulling from the angel number deck. In the detox your friendships, it's like I don't know, I guess, a mom age woman and then a child. Like she's not old, but she's not young either. Uh, so, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Elders, generations before. I'm almost even associating that with spirit guides, like being there with you, guiding you, encouraging you. There's also birds in this picture. Birds are believed to be messengers for the spirit realm. Okay. Angel number 606 and 11 on the cut as we're getting started. Commitment and patience. We're going to try for just one. We got 2. 44, 42. Signs. Signs and synchronicities. Messages, guidance, intuition, awareness, signs, abundance. Stay alert for signs and messages around you. By G's, you will be guided towards manifesting abundance and prosperity. What signs or messages have I been receiving lately? How can I stay more attuned to divine guidance in my daily life? This goes with the chakra card, connection with spirit. Keep a journal to note any reoccurring signs or messages you encounter. Trust your intuition and let it guide your decisions, knowing that divine energies are supporting you. And that goes back with the daily mantra, too. The right thing to do isn't always the easy thing to do, but it's easier to know I did it than to hate that I didn't. Then we got 1313, seek comfort. Comfort, protection, assurance, support, safety, angels, and reassurance. That could kind of go under the encouragement label. I told you that kept coming to mind. You know, some of us, whether we like it or not, or whether we like to admit it or not, you know, we operate better if we get that reassurance that we're doing a good job. It doesn't necessarily have to be all the time, but even it could be applied in many different situations. Getting that reassurance can be very uplifting and motivating to keep you going. Sometimes we need it and we don't even realize that we need it. Sometimes we want it and there's nowhere for us to get it. And sometimes we are the ones that are able to give it to others. And that's the whole point. The number 1313 brings special protection from your angels. They want you to know that you can seek comfort and safety under their watchful care. Look at that. What was I talking about? That picture. As they work extra hard to shield you from any negativity. In what areas of my life do I need extra comfort and protection? And how can I seek it with the reassurance of my angels? Take a moment to create a comforting space for yourself, whether through relaxation techniques, meditation, or connecting with a trusted friend. Remember that you are under the care of your angels. How many confirmations can you get? Finding those people that can be that for you, whether it's online, whether it's in a church community, whether it's at, an after school program that you take your kids to, whatever the case may be, uh, positive connections where you share interests or, goals in life, whatever the case may be. Okay, now we'll get an affirmation. I said I was going to do the Namaste neck. The Namaste deck next. I skipped. I went a different direction, so we'll do that next. Story of my life and follow your heart on the cut as we're getting started. We'll try for just one, but I don't think we ever get just one with these. it's important to remember that sometimes we get triggered by other people to help us see something that needs to be healed. There was a time when I used to, at the very beginning part of my journey, where I was that person. I was very easily triggered by other people, and uh, because I had made it to such a point in my life, those triggers caused me to turn around and look at different things in myself that I didn't like about me, instead of taking it out on the other person. 1, 2, 3. Well, one of these we've gotten before, one of these we've seen before, and one of them is a new one. So, positive thinking, we got that before. In the garden of my mind, I water the good thoughts and weed out the bad ones. I throw in forgiveness and empathy seeds by the handful if I want, and I take a lawnmower to that jealousy and resentment patch. I'm a pretty badass mind gardener. And she's got flowers growing out of her crown chakra, watering them, weeding it. All right, and then we got beauty. This one we saw, it was either like on the bottom of the deck or the top of the deck. It's a peacock looking in the mirror. I am beautiful even when I don't think it. I am beautiful even when I don't see it. I am beautiful no matter how many people don't say it. I'm beautiful. What did I say about being your own encouragement? Encouraging yourself, speaking good into yourself. And I don't even care if you know it. I'm beautiful, which is why I don't have to try so hard all the time to show it. Loving yourself, being able to pull yourself back up when there's nobody there to do it for you. That's a lot of people that struggle with like codependency and stuff like that. That's something that keeps them very stuck in life, because they're constantly seeking that reassurance from things outside of them. And so they're in the state of constantly chasing. It's no different than a drug addiction, but it's a assurance addiction, that constant interaction and feedback. And anyways, all right, and then we got playfulness. I am a playful participant in life, and I always have the option to make something a fun game rather than a heavy burden. Mary Poppins puts sugar in the medicine for a reason. That lady really knows how to party. That is hilarious. I mean, I didn't put two and two together that was supposed to be Mary Poppins, but now that I know that, Mary Poppins used to be my nickname. Or I shouldn't say my nickname, but like like it's what I used on my email and stuff like that. Spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way. And when she sings that song, they're cleaning. Remember, she starts singing it with the kids and they start cleaning their room. That goes back to the declutter. Cleaning up, going through old stuff and finding out what you don't need anymore, what you don't use anymore, stuff you forgot, you even forgot that you had it, you know, but make it fun. Think of it in the way, like, just like I was talking at the beginning of the video, look at it in a way as you're making room for new stuff. When you get rid of some of the stuff, you may be able to sell on like Marketplace or, one of them sale sites. Make you some money so you can go buy you new stuff that you do need or that you do want. Try to make it fun. This is a good time to do that. Spring cleaning, getting everything in order for the new season, starting fresh. All right. Now we'll get a namaste card from the Stress Less deck. We talked about it earlier in the week about uh, taking time this weekend to find some quiet time to really think about where you want things to go in this next season of our lives. What are things that you've learned that you want to apply? What are things that you haven't learned but that you want to learn? Are there changes that need to be made to make that possible? Just like me with the mushroom coffee. Uh, I've had to let myself run out of regular coffee, and now I'm finally going to order the mushroom coffee and give it a shot. Sit under a tree. Excuse me, let me take a drink. You can physically do this or imagine it. Either way, you must notice the tree. What kind is it? What color are the leaves? What season is it? Look at that, the seasons. What noises do you hear? What scents do you capture? Sit under the tree for 8 minutes and let your senses run wild. Nature is one of the greatest healers. Whether you are physically there or imagine a beautiful natural scene in your mind, you will begin to relax. Nature is a natural stress reliever and an organic way to cultivate a feeling of peace. We talk about that a lot here. Being in nature is one of the best things I can ever do for myself. No matter what's bothering me, no matter, what my feel bad, hurt, whatever I'm dealing with, whatever sickiness I'm dealing with, if I can find a wild body of water to go even just sit next to, I don't even necessarily have to get in it. The results are better if I get in it, but just being in that environment, I breathe better, literally. Okay, we'll get a celestial insight. Actually, we'll go with the birds. We're talking about nature. Uh, we saw the birds in the Detox Your Friendships card from the Angel Abundance deck. So we'll go with a bird and then we'll get celestial insights. I'm trying to see if I can tell what kind of bird that is in the picture. It almost looks like a robin, but I could be wrong. This is still one of the new decks, so, we've only gotten, I think, 2 out of this deck so far since we've had it. Look at that, turkey came out. Remember I told you the other day about me finding the turkey feather? I put it up already. Turkey was on top. Albatross. Heron. And swan. Let me get the feather real quick. I showed it in the video the other day, but let's see. I found this feather Friday. It's a huge turkey feather. And the same day I found this, almost right before I found this, I found a $20 bill. So, talking about signs from the universe, synchronicities, and whatnot. So, because of that, we've already read the turkey once, but we'll read it again. Turkey superpowers: sharing, giving, courageous, abundance, community care, good luck, new beginnings, nourishment of physical body, emotional care, and sacrifice. Turkey wisdom: the gift of time and care can mean just as much as, if not more than, the gifts of riches. The positive impact of love is unquantifiable. When turkey appears, check in with yourself. Notice where you could use extra nourishment and attention. Ask yourself what steps you need to take to turn things around. That goes back to what we were talking about earlier about making a plan. Turkey wants you to know it's hard to take care of others if you're not taking care of you, if you are not meeting your own needs. It will feel like a burden to be the generous person you know you are. And then we got Albatross. That's the first card of the deck. Making hard things look easy. Commitment, loyalty, stamina, bringers of good luck and bad. Seeing beneath the surface. Seeing things from a different perspective. Albatross wisdom: when you're taking your time when it comes to matters of the heart and standing by your convictions are signs of wisdom and character. So, taking time to analyze, to make a plan instead of just jumping in, whatever it is. Don't be afraid to take up space in your own life and the world at large. Where can you let yourself become a bigger, more authoritative presence? Albatross wants you to know you have more power than you might be giving yourself credit for. You make good choices when you trust yourself and seek out wisdom from your inner voice. So, taking the time to get by yourself, to get alone, to quiet your mind, to think about the important stuff, not necessarily the physical stuff, the important stuff. All right, then we have Heron and Swan. I probably shouldn't have kept all four of these, but uh I just did. Heron. Heron's superpowers: elegance, patience, wisdom, self-reliance, ability to commune with the spirit world, evolution, surprising strength, renewal, and metamorphosis. Didn't we just talk about metamorphosis day before yesterday when I was talking about the butterflies? Yeah. Heron wisdom: being content is one in one's own life is a great gift. Contentment doesn't mean everything is perfect, of course, but rather that it's possible to feel satisfied with what already exists in your orbit. So being grateful for what you have, being hopeful for what's to come. Examine what you think you need to be at peace and compare it to what you've already got. Is it possible you already have what you want and or need? What did I say about cleaning house and getting rid of what you don't need so that you can get things that you do need? Heron wants you to know you are enough. Of course, there's always room to dream new dreams and develop new desires, but simply being present is a rare and amazing place to be. Yeah. There was a day and time where you prayed for what you have now. And then there'll be a day and time where in the future where you have the things that you're praying for now. And we get so caught up in what we want next, the next goal to achieve, the next place to go, the next people to see, that we forget to acknowledge how far we've come. It's important. I mean, no, you don't want to walk around, like with a halo over your head or anything, but, it's important to acknowledge how far you've come. Even if other people don't do it, it's important that you do it for yourself. All right, then we have Swan. Inner beauty, emotional sensitivity, grace, self assuredness, transformation, and fierce loyalty. Swan wisdom. The way a person reacts to things often reveals more about how they feel about themselves than anything else. Recognizing where one can grow or shift is a skill that can be cultivated. Didn't we talk about that already? When Swan appears, believe that real change is possible. Empower yourself and those you care about by acknowledging the possibilities that small steps forward to can bring fruition. What what? Nuh-uh, you don't say. We've only been talking about that all week. We've seen the new beginnings card, we've seen the ambition card, we've seen the abundance card. Yeah, come on. Consider giving the gift of fresh start to someone in your life, including yourself, if you'd like one. The grace you offer others is a beautiful thing, but don't forget to save some for yourself. What did we talk about the self-forgiveness, self-care, self-love? It all starts with self. Thank you, Spirit. Beautiful messages right there. I'm gonna keep I mean, I'll just leave them on the top of the deck. I'm not gonna necessarily keep them out because we don't have enough room for that. But very much connecting some dots with those, you know, confirming things that we'd have already talked about this morning. All right, now we'll get a celestial insights. We usually end up with a couple of these, but the messages are short, so we are at 43:22 on the timer. Our angel numbers for the day were 1313 and 4442. So 444, fours and twos, 13 and 13. If you add that up, that's a 8, which is a multiplier of 2 or of 4. Past life, telepathy, allure, cherish. We got the allure, cherish. Remember last time we got it, we got both. That's the only card in the deck there's 2 of, and we got both of them. Past life. Your past has shaped who you are today, but it doesn't define you. Perhaps you've been dwelling too much on past memories. Look at how those experiences have helped you grow, but know that you are constantly evolving. We already talked about that this morning. You know, actually, that may not have been this morning, but we talked about that in a recent video about using past experiences to learn and heal and grow. Telepathy. Your intuition is connecting you with others. Have you experienced moments of deep understanding with someone? Pay attention to these subtle connections. They could hold the answers you need. Mm. So past life to telepathy relationship connection, spiritual connection. We did get connect with spirit. All right. Cherish the beauty that attracts you. Have you been too busy to appreciate the good things around you? Take time to enjoy and value the moments and people that bring you joy. So, gratitude, appreciation, being grateful for what you have, even if it's not necessarily what you want. Very interesting that past life and telepathy came out. I'm just saying. All right. Now we'll get an animal spirit card. I pray everybody's having a positive, peaceful morning this morning. It is Sunday morning, so it's a good rainy day to relax. Get that quiet time we keep talking about. I realize that it's harder for some people than it is for others to slow down. I used to be that person. But when the universe and when your body gives you no choice but to slow down, you just got to do it. And unfortunately, that's how it happens for a lot of us. We push and push and push and push and push until our bodies just can't push anymore. And then we're forced to slow down. All right. Animal spirit oracle. Oyster. That's water energy. Eagle. That's air energy. And then dragonfly, which is also air energy. All right. I guess I should start at the beginning so I don't pass it up. The cards are not numbered, so I just basically have to flip through it till I find it, until I learn the book better. Oyster. Patient, secret keeper, hiding inner treasures. Yes, oysters hide pearls. But there's a scientific reason why they do that, why they make the pearls. The focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they achieve with grace and charm. The only problem is, oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. They become shy or doubtful, and this can lead to withdrawing or protecting their deepest desires and life's work. When the oyster card appears, it's important to reveal your inner treasures. What is it you've been hesitant to share? The world is waiting to see. When in balance, feels blessed, generous, and masterful. When out of balance, reluctant, gripping, and clams up. To bring into balance, share something. Don't overshare, because sometimes that can cause more harm than good. But, try to connect either with spirit or a physical person, even animals. If you don't do good with people, try animals, connect with nature. I'm telling you, man, the healing power of nature it always brings me back to the movie Avatar. It really does. We are the avatars. Okay, dragonfly, master of light, illusion, and the mind. The dragonfly is an ancient and ethereal creature that awakens a sense of wonder and awe. The dragonfly is a symbol of the mind as it is always moving, shifting, shimmering, and changing. When the dragonfly card appears, it's worth considering the quality of your mind and perception. Are they restless or still? Dreamlike or crystal clear? The situation at hand may be different than it appears at first glance. The dragonfly reminds us to calm the mind so the light of wisdom can shine through. When in balance, sees clearly, joyful, and magical. When out of balance, can't concentrate, busy mind. To bring into balance, focus on the breath. So going back to the meditation, that's a good starting point for any meditation session is sitting and focusing on the breath. Eagle, all pervading power, truth seeker, transforms karma. The noble eagle emanates the light of the sun. This great bird is both physically and spiritually strong and represents mastery over the elements of fire and air. When the eagle appears, you'll soon be thrown into the karmic fire for the sake of your transformation. Whoa. The eagle pushes us to be our best and brightest selves and stops at nothing to see us shine. Grasp the sun in your talons and hold on for the ride. You are stronger than you think, eagle child. When in balance, bright, radiant, and challenges. When out of balance, controlling. To bring into balance, step into the unknown. New beginnings, transformations, metamorphosis, putting the childish things aside and moving to a new level. New levels, new devils. What's stuck to the bottom when I was trying to move the deck? Moth. We got that yesterday. That stuck to the table as I was trying to move the deck. And then Scorpion under that. Those we got both of those the other day. Okay. Going back to our mantra, usually the hardest thing to do is the best thing to do. And a lot of times that's because we have to be able to call ourselves out. And that is very difficult for a lot of people to be able to call themselves out on their own BS. All right, now we'll get an Archangel Fire Oracle card, and then we'll do our Mary Magdalene and we'll be done. I was trying to keep this under an hour. I may go a little bit over, but we do have several, and I still haven't done a crystal card either. Okay, I'll do that after the Archangel. Who knows? Maybe the crystals will line up. With all the new decks, we've definitely filled in the hour. Uriel. We've gotten Uriel recently, so he's still popping out here. Let's go again. Archangel Michael. All right, that's the first time we've seen him come out. Card number 23, which breaks down to a 5. Courage and protection. Probably the most well-known of all the archangels, beloved Michael is the angelic protector, your personal bodyguard. He infuses you with courage and will ensure you and those you love are kept safe. Ask him to cut any negative cords, to relieve tension and bring peace into your family and friends, and to watch over you and your loved ones. The angelic policeman. If you see a police car go by or witness a fight or an argument, send Michael to help to surround the situation and his powerful transmuting flame to resolve any conflict. Michael's color is a brilliant cobalt blue or indigo, or you may see blue sparkles when he's around. Whenever you feel afraid, uncertain, or need a little extra courage, call on Michael to wrap his blue cloak around you and shield you from harm. Many years ago, I was home in Sydney, Australia, visiting my family when we attended a church service at St. Mary's Cathedral. As soon as we entered the church, I felt Michael's energy wrap me up like a protective force field. My heart began to pound, and I felt an intense tingling sensation spread through my body. I looked up at the altar and was stunned to see Archangel materialize in front of my eyes. He was huge and had long blonde hair that was flowing in the breeze, despite the air in the church being perfectly still. He wore a deep blue cape and held a giant sword of light above his head. He was unspeakably powerful and yet gentle, and I experienced the most profound feeling of love and security. Whenever you are going through rapid or difficult changes in your life or feel uncertain about your path ahead, call on Michael to reassure you and trust that all will be well. His message: release your fears. You are safe and protected. If you are in a time when you need a little more courage, know that I am with you, shielding you from any perceived danger. Michael is the angel of divine will. Think of the meaning of the words willpower and let those words anchor you in your own sense of inner strength and determination. Imagine that it would Imagine what it would feel like to be totally confident and secure in yourself, your environment, and your abilities. Hold on to that feeling and imagine you can amplify it within your stomach area. If you wish, you can imagine a swirling indigo ball of light within that location. Now allow yourself to stand up straighter and taller. Bring the focus of your attention to the lower part of your body, such as your belly, legs, or feet, and consciously sink your weight into your physicality. Feel gravity anchoring you and imagine you are strong, tall, and sturdy like an oak tree. Now you are standing in your power. Even if you don't fully believe it, day by day, you will begin to feel more confident and assertive. There you go. Let's see what. He is part of the suit of the Blu-ray. Color pale blue or indigo. What did we get? We got the throat chakra this morning, which is the color blue. Chakra location. Look at that. I knew it would line up somehow, didn't I? I said the stones. We haven't done that yet. Look. Fifth chakra, throat chakra, color blue. Healing qualities, expression, communication, truth, courage, service, purpose, synchronicity, friendship, protection, and abundance. Crystal associations: celestite, lapis lazuli. I can't ever say that right. Lazuli, uh, essential oil, blue lotus, star constellation, the guardian, brightest star of boots, Bootes. Zachariel was the one before that, graceful and surrender. And then wealth and charity. Sachiel. She's the one that looks like a gypsy. All right, so there you go. Archangel Michael in the house. All right. And now we'll get a Mary Magdalene, and I think that'll get us. Oh, wait, no, let's do a crystal card first. Last time we got selenite. Which is a clear quartzy-like mineral crystal. whatever you want to call it. One more shuffle. These are still very new, so they kind of still stick together. They're very glossy. Look at that. We got selenite again. Cleanliness, light, and peace. Let's get another one. I can't believe that same exact card came out. That's crazy. Anyways, like I was saying, the glossy makes them kind of like stick together. So I guess it'll just take a while to get them broke in. We got 2. Aventurine, luck, prosperity, fulfillment. Tiny crystal fact, tiny specks of mica and other minerals cause aventurine to glitter. This sparkle is called aventurine sense. And then we got heliotrope, heliotrope, heliotrope. Bravery, strength, and perseverance. Crystal fact, heliotrope is also called bloodstone due to its red spots of hematite. All right, so there's our 3 stones for the day. A total repeat with the selenite. All right, now we'll get a Mary Magdalene and we'll be done for the day. I like having the crystal cards. I need to... Well, we're already at an hour and 3 minutes, so we may not incorporate that part. Mary, Mary, full of grace, what advice can you give us today? All right, we got judgment and silence on the cut as we're getting started. Just one. Just like with the archangel messages, these can get quite long, so we just want one, please. Tim poked its head out. That's too many, but judgment, Christ, freedom, the good, and soul work. Judgment showed itself again. The whole point is to be human. The whole point is to be human. Judgment. All right, here we go. The tar, the thick honey sludge of what keeps us bound in any of the 7 points of the judgment we hold against ourselves for what we're going through. Judgment of our own humanity is the single greatest obstacle to our spiritual growth. When we get to the third power in Mary's gospel, we're given a profound insight on how to free ourselves from all seven powers. The soul came to the third power, which is called ignorance. It examined the soul closely, saying, "Where are you going? You are bound by wickedness." And the soul said, "Why do you judge me, since I have not passed judgment?" Quoting Mary chapter 9, verses 9 through 13. It's fairly ironic for ignorance to call the soul bound by wickedness, because, of course, the one actually bound is ignorance, not the soul. Ignorance, the third power, is seeing or projecting onto the soul what it can't see or refuses to see about itself. The soul, the truth that in fact the one who is bound is the one who feels the need to judge in the first place. And then the soul reveals its ultimate superpower, non judgment. The soul asks the third power, or ignorance, "Why do you judge me, since I have not passed judgment?" Quoting Mary chapter 9, verse 14. Freedom from any of the seven powers begins with this awareness of how and when we judge, either ourselves or someone else. Because as the third power demonstrates so beautifully here, we often judge in others what is actually true about ourselves. Didn't I talk about that this morning? Pretty sure I did. The real power here is when we can see that there's nothing we have ever done that we actually have the right to judge. Judging what we have done only forces us to remain in the same power that caused the action we're judging. Seeing that we are human, which means making galactic mistakes, and also having a soul that can love even the worst of our actions, this is how we move away from the practice of judgment. Seeing that we are here to be human, to make mistakes, and to then let love reach where it has never been before. This is a purpose, a calling, and the whole point is being here. The soul voice meditation. What judgment can I free myself from in this moment? Who are you judging? What are you judging? Are you judging at all? Do you need to be able to turn that judgment around on yourself? Are you pointing out the splinter in your neighbor's eye while you have a uh, log in your own eye? None of us have the right to judge anybody for anything. That is not our place here. You can there's a difference between observing and judging. Of course you want to observe, you want to be cautious, you want to take care of yourself, whatever, but there's a big difference between just observing and judging. Seek comfort and signs. Pay attention to the little messages, like the turkey feather, like the $20 bill. Of course, those are extreme examples, really. But signs and synchronicities are everywhere if you can open your eyes to see them. Throat chakra, connect with spirit. Really, we've really been hearing a lot lately about connecting with nature, spending time in nature, decluttering, spring cleaning, uh, materialistically and spiritually, spring cleaning. Knowing that your angels, ancestors, spirit guides are with you, guiding you. We got Archangel Michael who showed up today. Comfort, protection, peace, harmony. When I am tempted to gossip, I'll think of something nice to say instead. And if I can't find something nice to say, I'll look harder. The right thing to do isn't always the easiest thing to do, but it's easier to know I did than to hate that I didn't. Making a plan, starting a calendar, starting a journal, keeping track of your ideas. Healing is not linear, it's a spiral. We will encounter the same wounds many times, but gain new perspective with each passage. Sometimes looking at things from a different perspective is all we really need. Somebody out of our bubble to come in and show us a different perspective. Past life telepathy, cherish. Past life energy, past life connection. As always, be grateful for what you have, the big, the small, and the blessings yet to come. If you see a need out there today, tomorrow, next week, if there's any way possible that you can fill that need, please do so. You may not only better their day, but you could possibly change their life, and you never know the impact it could have on yours. Be blessed, find peace, and I'll see you next time.